You can see there with the Tall Blacks. And the Tall Blacks, of course, met Korea at the FIBA Asia Cup earlier this year. In fact, it was this summer in Beirut, and lost a couple of close games, but perhaps not a full-strength New Zealand team, as they brought a lot of young players into the mix. And now we anticipate seeing a lot of those veterans. Well, certainly they'll be back for this game. But this Korea team, make no mistake about it, is a team that is built to win. I mean, this is a good team that perhaps is flying under the radar. They got to third place at the FIBA Asia Cup, so they reached the podium, and the second highest scoring team behind Australia. This is a team that has players that competed at the last FIBA Basketball World Cup, as the New Zealand Tall Blacks did as well. So we are going to be watching high-level basketball. It's a new era of international basketball, and this is about as exciting as it gets, folks. We've been waiting for so long. Now we're going to have 80 games over 5 days, this first international window, games all over the world. And you have to say, what an honor for these two teams to be playing in the very first World Cup qualifier. So there is a huge buzz. Of course, New Zealand flying some players back all the way home from Europe to take part in this game as well. So that just goes to show the emphasis, the need to get it going and get it going on the right foot. But like I said, Korea, they haven't come to New Zealand. They haven't come to Wellington, this TSB Stadium, to lose on opening night. So the players have been introduced, and we are going to listen to the national anthems for both teams, starting with Korea and then New Zealand. So that was Korea. Now the national anthem of New Zealand.
God of nations, at thy feet, in the bonds of love we meet. Hear our voices, we entreat. God, defend our free land. God, Pacific's triple star, from the shafts of strife and war, make her praises heard afar. God, defend New Zealand.
So the national anthems have been played for both Korea and New Zealand.
gentlemen, the FIBA game officials tonight, Ferdinand Pascal.
And now we're going to get a chance to look at the referees tonight. Ferdinand Pascual, Ichi Chong, and Jun Yu. Now we're going to have a special treat, the haka from New Zealand. And as you're aware of New Zealand sports teams, this is a time-honored tradition. So I'm going to let them take it over. So the haka has once again gripped everybody here in the arena, in the stadium, the TSB Stadium in Wellington. What a great part of the world this is, folks. You need to make sure you get to New Zealand at some point, and we're so happy to be here. Korea veteran team all the way from top to bottom, coached by Jai Her. And listen, you know, this is a team, again, that is very strong. Park, Lee, Yang, Kim, Jonggu, and Oh Sekyun. Every one of these guys is a really good ball player. Oh was terrific at the Asia Cup that was played in Beirut this summer. He's in that starting five. Korea will know all about some of these New Zealanders as we look at them. Of course, Shea Illy up at the top there was an All-Star 5 member for the Tall Blacks team that finished fourth at the Asia Cup and lost to Korea in the third place game. But the key is you have a lot of returning veterans. Illy will be in the starting lineup, and Corey Webster is back with the team now. Thomas Abercrombie as well, Mika Vukona too, as well as Isaac Fotu. So 4 guys, 4 players, 4 studs, if you will, that were not at the Asia Cup as New Zealand set out to get some invaluable experience for their young players, have made the trip home to play for the Tall Blacks, or they've actually returned to this lineup, some of them actually based down under. So here we are, just minutes away from the start of things. And, you know, as a reminder, how good are these teams? Well, both of these countries playing at the last FIBA Basketball World Cup that was staged in Spain. And there's Jai Her, who has distinguished himself really as a good coach. And that third place that they received, or that they achieved at the Asia Cup, kind of let everybody know back home that he was the right man to have in charge of this team. They were supremely focused, a team that really built some momentum. Paul Henare, meanwhile, he was really excited about the performance of his team. It was mission accomplished for New Zealand at the Asia Cup. But now, obviously, the stakes even higher as both of these teams set out to get to the World Cup. It's not going to be an easy feat, to put it mildly. We've got 16 teams in Asia trying to get to the World Cup. Then you've got 12 teams that will qualify from this first round to the second round. So you got to finish in the top 3 of your group. There are 4 groups here to move on to that next stage. So the FIBA Basketball World Cup in 2019 will be staged in China. And it will be 32 teams. And really the passage to the Olympics, guess what, folks? You got to make it through the World Cup. This is what it's all about. You got to make it to the World Cup, not only for the prestige of that competition, but also to have any hope of getting to the Olympic Games. That will be played in Tokyo in 2020. Well, good evening, folks, or good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're watching. It's Korea and New Zealand. Isaac Fotu going up against Kim Jong-yu, and Kim Jong-yu winning that opening tip. He's got the ball in his hands right now, number 15, and he also had a terrific FIBA Asia Cup this summer. Korea will not be shy about putting the ball up, and Thomas Abercrombie gets the rebound for New Zealand. So off to Shea Illy. Plays his basketball in New Zealand as well as Wellington. In the New Zealand League, the miss. Mika Vukona with the rebound. Corey Webster puts it up off the back of the iron. And it's going to be Korea possession. So a real kind of sense of anticipation, excitement. It's almost gone quiet inside this arena as the fans just kind of take things in here at the start of this contest. Thomas Abercrombie reaches in, knocks it away, and then is fouled as he tries to get down on the fast break, fouled by Yang. Abercrombie, one of those veterans who had wanted to play at the Asia Cup this summer, but the coach said, hey, take some time off, rest, and get ready for the World Cup qualifiers that are going to be coming up. And I think everybody agrees that New Zealand made the right decision by blooding a lot of youngsters at that tournament. And Abercrombie inbounds it to Shea Illy. Isaac Fotu, one of the real sensations of the World Cup for New Zealand. Little jump hook, it's good. Well, he is followed up a couple of seasons in Spain, now playing in Germany's top flight with Ratio Farm Of course, played college basketball in Hawaii, not a bad place to play if you're going to play in the NCAA. Now, Korea put the ball on the deck, get it inside, back outside, and a little bit of movement and penetration, the foul. So Park is fouled. Are they giving him shots? Yes, they are indeed. Corey Webster telling the referee we had all ball, ref, but referee's had a good look at it. Oh, and the bank brings back memories. It's almost an art form for the Koreans. They like to bank in the free throws. Some of them do anyway. South Korea, or rather Korea winning at 76-75 in the group phase at the Asia Cup. Here's Webster driving in. Gets on the board. Boy, how good has he been for New Zealand over the years? He was terrific at the World Cup in Spain. Now playing in Israel for Ironi Naharia, so he and his brother Ty have come back to these games. Ty Webster playing for Fraport Skyliners in Germany. Kim drives in, is denied by Isaac Fotu. Shea Illy, outlet pass. Jai Her looking on. Mika Vukona. Real warhorse, back to Fotu. Korea push it quickly. They're going to launch a three. And New Zealand had position but couldn't corral it. So the ball goes back over to Korea. Oh, caught the inbounds pass, but decided to take it back out. Park over on the wing. It's good. First three-pointer. And it goes for Korea. So Lee opens his account. And Corey Webster. He starts like a house on fire, making his first couple of shots. Excuse me, he's 2 of 3, in fact. But he is an out-and-out scorer for the Tall Blacks. And now the penetration, the ball gets in, and Lee is appealing, said he got hit, but ball goes back over to the Tall Blacks. Now, they lost the 2 games, New Zealand, at the Asia Cup, 76-75 in the group phase, and then 80-71 in the third place game. So there's Webster again. Well, he's just having a little jump shooting practice now. But again, that team that played at the Asia Cup for New Zealand missing the veterans. Now they are back for this one. The drive and the foul. So Lee being very active. So he's rewarded with his penetration or his drive. Earns a trip to the line. Mika Vakona saying, "Are you sure you saw a foul there?" And sure enough. So Ty Webster now checking into the game, as well as Rob Lowe. Shea Illy checks out of the game, as does Mika Vakona. Rob Lowe, a sweet shooting big man. Excuse me, that's Alex Pledger. I don't know, what am I talking about? Alex Pledger, number 35, has had so many back problems over the years, the last couple of years really. So it's great to see him back with the Tall Blacks. Rob Lowe wearing number 14. And Pledger 35. Here's Ty Webster. Floats in. And New Zealand get it back. It's Corey Webster. Has the ball knocked away. And then I think he may have committed a foul trying to get it back. So great to see Alex Pledger back for the Tall Blacks. He's guarding the ball now, number 35. Last played at the FIBA Oceania Championship for men in 2013, before injuries really started to take their toll. Here he is getting his first rebound. He's out and running. Webster. And then lost the ball as he started to make his move, maybe in a little bit too much of a hurry there. There's Ty Webster botting up down low. Doesn't get the rebound, however. And another rebound goes for Korea. They will punish you eventually. And now, perhaps a chance to run for New Zealand. Webster's going to take it all the way. Gets it to go. I thought maybe he should have held up there for a second, but he was able to finish. Bounce pass, and the drive and the foul. So good aggressive move from Kim Jong-kyu.
Substitution for Korea coming in number 2, Chie Chun-yong. 9.
So Jared Kinney checking in for the Tall Blacks. And also feast your eyes on the size that's come in at guard for Korea. Choi. First free throw is good. Choi is measures at 2.00 centimeters. That's 6 feet 7 inches. And he is a whale of a ball player. Make no mistake about it. So a lot of good players for both of these teams will be coming off the bench today. Among them, Jared Kinney, who's just got to Ty Webster. Pledger comes up. Webster puts it up from the top of the key, well short. Fotu there cleans up the mess. I tell you, he was so short with the shot that I think Korea were kind of caught napping. Oh, has it. Heo, who's come in, number 9. Now the move down low, O, and he's off target. O can't quite get it going yet. And now the ball goes back over to Korea.
Substitution for the Tall Blacks. Number 1.
Ruben Tarangi is just coming in as well. Another one of the standouts for New Zealand at the Asia Cup. He had a couple of signature dunks that really got people excited back home. But his overall play was outstanding. Heo from 3. Oh, and New Zealand standing around, and they almost were punished. Gion misses from deep. Now Ruben Tarangi over to Kenny. Tarangi puts it on the deck and lays it up, misses, but Pleasure there for the rebound. And made the mistake by bringing the ball down, and that triggers the break. And Gion puts it up for Korea. So that's a 4-point swing there. And the Koreans, good job getting it out quickly. An opportunity missed for New Zealand. A couple of good looks there. Now Fotu. Bounce pass, and Jared Kennedy misses. And now New Zealand, well, Korea can tie them with a 2 or take the lead with a 3. There's Choi. Look at him. Big fella makes the pass, and we've got a tie game. Good finish by Kim. Ty Webster on the baseline. Short on his first couple of shots. Oh, now Korea on a nice little run here. Tarangi has it on the baseline. So that was O with the jump shot. Now Fotu over to Tarangi on the baseline. Short little runner from the baseline. Ruben Tarangi stops the Korean run. You can see the looks of concern there for Paul Henare. Koreans are going to be patient. They're going to pass it around. Heo down to the line. Gion. Oh. And again, Kim drives. Great defense from Pledger. And Ty Webster explodes and draws the foul. Well, you can see Ty Webster wants to get it going, but much better from New Zealand that time. Look at Choi talking to the ref. You know, it's such a luxury for Korea, A, to bring the young man off the bench. Here was Pledger D'ing up on Kim, but Choi is such a good player, just 23 years of age. He has such good size to handle the ball. You saw his passing ability already. Ty Webster really struggling here with a shot at the beginning of the game. He just wrapped up his collegiate career with the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Now playing in Europe, as we've said, in Germany. And now that he's seen the ball go through the hoop with his second free throw, see if that gets him going. New Zealand back in front in the final minute of the opening quarter of the opening World Cup qualifier here in both Asia and the world. Lee, number 33, also in. He is a good shooter. You can't afford to leave these Koreans open if you're New Zealand. They're such good shooters. There he is. Now they get it down to Choi. Here's Lee, the lefty. They got a hand in his face. That was good D, but nobody rebounded, and Jeon hits the three. Well, he was electric, wasn't he, late in the Asia Cup, Jeon. And now he comes out and puts Korea on top. Tarangi for three, has the answer. Ruben Tarangi. Choi. And Webster reaches in. Oh, and he forces the turnover. Thought they might be about to call the foul. And so great defense. Perhaps Choi getting the message that when Ty Webster's on the court, you better be ready. Here he is. He gets it, and then he is fouled. They had a foul, a couple fouls to give, in fact, so 2.9 seconds remaining, and you wonder if New Zealand are going to anticipate this, and if they're going to try to draw something up here that'll get them a run of play, rather, that will get them at least a jump shot. Oh, Korea had another one to give, and they did not make the foul. So all in all, you have to say Korea have come out. They trailed a little bit. Some substitutions for New Zealand perhaps didn't go to plan, but New Zealand leading at 18-17 after one. So the early stats here, New Zealand shooting 41% inside the arc, Korea just 25%. Korea have the 2 threes, however. New Zealand, the 1 3. And we'll see some of the images here from the TSB Stadium. Of course, the haka. And you can also, if you want to catch up with everything that's going on with the World Cup qualifiers, you can go to FIBA Basketball and go to the website, or you can load in the app, which has just been launched, the FIBA Basketball World Cup app. So the app is the most versatile platform to follow all the action on the road to China, and I'm looking at mine right now, folks. It is a nice application, as they say. It's something that your phone is crying out for. And you can download it for free, in fact. So, hey, clear some space on your phone and get that app in there so you can follow your favorite team. And, of course, as you look around this TSB Stadium and you see so many fans in this arena, it's just kind of illustrates why we call this is my house. This is bringing basketball, international basketball, to the fans. And offensive foul called on New Zealand. Good job, Korea. Boy, they've, that experience that we saw in the Asia Cup, it's evident here. These guys have played a lot of games together. And I think they've probably had a lot more preparation time than the Tall Blacks. Much more aware, really. I mean, they're guys all domestic-based. Choi drives in, makes the pass. Lee, who's back in the game. Now Choi. And Choi, nice rotation with the go-ahead jumper. And nice pass, and Pledger goes up for his first flush of the World Cup qualifiers. Shea Illy back in for the Tall Blacks. tell you, Henare perhaps knows he can get the offense from Corey Webster, but right now he's keeping his leading scorer on the bench. His brother Ty's out there, though, showing signs of waking up with the D. Now Lee hits the jump shot. And we talked about it. Lee, a member of that World Cup squad back in 2014. Korea, unlike New Zealand at the World Cup, did not progress to the round of 16. Shayeli steps into the jump shot. Paul Henare, former player himself, was in the famous 2002 FIBA Basketball World Cup team of New Zealand that finished 4th, as was his assistant, Peura Cameron, who, by the way, belated congratulations going into the FIBA Hall of Fame, Peura Cameron. Henare was, both these guys have been assistant coaches before, and both went for the head coaching job. And in fact, it was Henare who was chosen, and Peura Cameron was just excited, disappointed, but excited as well. There's Rob Lowe. We gave him that early introduction. And now he's in the game, only he's going back to the bench as we have a timeout on the floor.
Hey, brother, when you do a better job, you let me know if you're feeling it right now. When we see rebound, we're going to push. They can't sit up inside. It's okay. We just got to be prepared to make good decisions. Just remember that these guards down here, they're just playing passing lanes. Right? So you got to attack hips and attack the outside like you just did then. Right here.
Well, you can hear the words of Coach Paul Henare stressing the need to make the good decisions. Here's the shooting.
We missed pledge again on the seal right there. All right? So go runner again right here.
Folks, you have to really, when you get time, go to the official website of the World Cup qualifiers, and you can find it by going FIBA.basketball, and just so many interesting pages to look at. Of course, the hashtag This Is My House on the social media. If you want to put your comments out there about the World Cup qualifiers, I mean, look at the fans. I mean, this is just a testament, the new system of competition by FIBA. The fans crying out for the home games. Now, perhaps the pass ill-advised there by Ty Webster to Rob Lowe. Now deep, and that is the answer, the long jump shot. And Corey Webster is going to check into the game, perhaps for his brother. And Shayeli drives in and misses the shot, but a foul has been called. And it's been called on New Zealand.
Substitution for the Tall Blacks. Corey Webster returns. Tom Abercrombie.
So Thomas Abercrombie as well comes back into the game. So you couldn't have asked for a better start, really, for Korea. They've come out, took some early shots to the gut from Corey Webster and New Zealand, but here they are leading it, and also with possession. Now they're going baseline. And the pass outside to Lee, and he hits the three-pointer. It's Korea's biggest lead of the game, 27-22. The Korean players, when they get in the flow, can shoot lights out. And that is a worrying sign for the Tall Blacks. Abercrombie steps in wide open, misses. Vacona goes up for the board. And now called for a charge. Well, wrapping his left arm around the defender. And Vacona had the look of, I can't believe they made that call. But the Filipino referee right on the spot. And not allowed to clear out there using that move. So Vacona picks up his second foul. And really, right now, this is where it has to happen for New Zealand. It has to happen on the defensive end. Choi gets it to Lee. Vacona almost picking up his third foul, and the bank shot from Gian. And the lead grows again. And Hinari has seen enough. He calls a timeout.
Rainbow Tall Blacks. It's Korea up by 7, 29-22.
So Hinari's perhaps going to be a little hot under the collar because he was talking about making the good decisions in the last huddle. Let's hear what he says.
Stop setting those warning shots. You lose sight of your man, or you lose focus. They find them and they shoot threes. Right? So it's not anything that we didn't expect. Okay.
See the turnovers. 5 already for New Zealand.
All right. Tommy here. All right. Get that pass across here. I want you just here and then bounce back. All right. Ask for the ball back in this zone here. We look to throw back here.
Points off turnovers. 3 for Korea. 2 for New Zealand.
그게 안 돼서 백도아가 그때 이제 스크린 가가지고 요거 찬스 승현이 찬스 안 됐어. 그럼 어떻게 나중에 또 다운스 그래가지고 둔범이 파울이 없어. 파울을 그냥 파울을 적절하게 이용해.
Come on, Wellington. Let's hear those weapons.
So if you're Korea, you have to be wondering how the psychology is for them. They've heard everybody saying, yeah, they won 2 games against New Zealand, but it wasn't against their first team. It was against a bunch of young guys. So they've come here on a mission. They're going to say, well, we can beat the other team. We can beat the veterans too. Well, they've flown all the way to New Zealand, and they have had a great start. They lead it 29-22. 6.5 minutes to go in the first half. And now the ball just, Thomas Abercrombie just took his eye off the ball, it looked like. The ball goes out of bounds. So the last several minutes have not been good by New Zealand. And Vacona goes out. Remember, he has the 2 fouls. Choi, guarded by Abercrombie. Lee drives in and denied, but gets the ball back. And now they pass it back outside to Choi. Shea Ili with the rebound. Pulls up for 3. Good! Well, he's young, folks, but boy, that is a shot that was taken with confidence. Showing a glimpse of why he was in that All-Star 5 at the Asia Cup. Shea Ili, 25 years of age. And the answer, the three-pointer from Gian, who has just come out, firing him up. Fotu over to Webster. Now Abercrombie. Inside to Low, he spins and then just kind of loses the ball. And Shea Ili not able to collect it, and good sportsmanship there by Korea, helping Shea Ili up off the hardwood.
Substitution for Korea.
Ty Webster back in the game as well for New Zealand. And the interesting message for from Hinari in that last huddle, that last time out, was to the New Zealanders, listen guys, and Isaac Fotu also back in. I've told you, we knew that if you lose sight of your men, they can hurt you with the jump shots, and that, Korea had an opportunity for an easy one, but went up too soon with the shot. Now Corey Webster pulls up on the break and nails it. So there's a 4-point swing. And New Zealand, the quality of performer that Corey Webster is, when he is on the court, they just look a better team. I mean, there's no question about it. He just has that savvy, doesn't he? That confidence. And now Jai Her calls the timeout.
저 신장이 좀 딸려. 그치 우리가 지금 네가 이렇게 나오면 신장이 딸린다. 근데 저 오펜스 할 때 유리할 거야.
Korea Lee may have been a little bit fortunate not to get the foul on the reach. And Webster, who has started this World Cup qualifying campaign red hot, really. 5 of 6 from the floor, 10 points. So here's Gian, though, with the 13 points. And Gian, again, was terrific at the Asia Cup. New Zealand, the Webster has the 10, 5 for Tarangi, Ili, and Fotu has 4. Is one of the Tallback fans. She'll have a lot of games to watch in her future. Gian really made his mark in the semifinals at the Asia Cup when he erupted for 20 points. And at the Asia Cup, he shot from three-point range 42 of 90. I mean, he put up a lot of threes. And the ball goes out of bounds. That is a type of turnover coming out of a timeout for Coach Jai Hurd that is going to make his hair turn gray. And for some reason, Ty Webster saving some time on the clock, bringing the ball up the floor. Not sure what that was about. Gets it to his brother, Corey. Count it! What's up, bro? He gets it to Webster, and now Webster has taken his, that was a 3, so he's got 13, but right at the other end is O. And that's a case of oh no, remembering what Hanari said about leaving the open looks. And then the ball rims out. And Korea take it the other way. And nobody picked up number 6 for Korea, Heo. And he just said, well, I'm just going to shoot it. Just a wide open layup, a layup drill. And just when it looked like New Zealand might start getting the wind in their sails, Korea have come back and scored 4 straight points. And Ty Webster pulls up for the short jump shot. Seems like a relatively quiet crowd. It's a big crowd. And you wonder if the noise factor would help New Zealand a little bit. Again, Lee with the long jump shot. And Korea go back in front, 38-32. Pass to Rob Lowe, and he is fouled. Lee Sung-hyung, who hit that last jump shot for Korea. I'm going to pull up his numbers here and let you know how good he was at the Asia Cup, because he was, they could have nicknamed him Money in the Bank, because it wasn't often that he did not see the ball fall through the hoop. And that just makes you wonder what's going on with New Zealand, leaving some of these excellent jump shooters open. Webster this time misses from deep, and Korea have it. Outlet pass, Lee. Here's Lee's got it again. And what ball movement. The other Lee has it. Lee Sung-hyung. 5 on the shot clock, and the pass right into the hands of Ty Webster. An unsportsmanlike foul has been called on Korea. Now that's an interesting one, because he did a good job with his body staying in front. Oh, they're calling the offensive foul on Ty Webster. I thought he had played good job. I just simply cannot understand. It looked like Heo had done a good job. Now, what are they clarifying? Have they called the foul? They're saying unsportsmanlike foul.
Substitution for Korea. Coming on, number 15.
Bizarre sequence here. What is the call? I'm not sure yet. Yeah, they do call the foul on Heo. Look at this. Oh, yeah, sorry. That was an unsportsmanlike. He wrapped up Webster. So they're going to say 2 shots and possession. So this is why the crowd reacted the way they did. They wiped off the shot. But for a minute there, I thought they were going to call a foul on Ty Webster. But he was excellent, putting his head down, going to the basket. And you could see that even though he kept his body in pretty good position, he kind of reached over and committed the foul. So the first unsportsmanlike foul goes against the visitors. New Zealand trying to pick it up a little bit. Fotu inside, takes the bump. And to be fair, good defense. And Fotu has misses the shot. And now a foul has been called on New Zealand as Korea get the ball in the lane. So what could have been a 4 or 5 point trip down the floor for New Zealand, they're only able to make the 2 free throws, get them from Webster, Ty Webster. And now Korea have possession. Shea comes back into the game, replaces Corey Webster. Korea, beautiful bounce pass, pump fake, goes up and missed the shot. Kim Jong-yu had the easiest of looks. Made the right move, just didn't finish. Shea over to Pledger. Now Abercrombie for 3. And Pledger challenged for the rebound. But it was Yang who got the rebound in the end. Now Kim drives in and is fouled by Pledger. So Kim Jong-yu earns a trip to the free throw line. And perhaps the fact that he's able to catch the ball so close to the basket is a worrying sign here for New Zealand. So Kim at the line and bricks the first one. He makes the second. So 5-point lead for Korea here late in the first half. 1 minute and 5 seconds remaining. So Paul Henare calls timeout. Korea's biggest lead has been 7 points in the game.
Hey, be ready for zone right here. I want to go a 4 up. Shilly, you run the 1.
So points by quarter. You can see Korea here outscoring New Zealand in this second quarter, 22-16. They trailed at the end of 1.
You're on a hard duck in right here, mate.
파울이 하나 남았어. 파울로 끝나는 얘기가 아니야. 디펜스를 정상적으로 하다가 정말 뚫렸을 때 파울을 해야지. 무슨 말인지 알지? 그 상대는 팀 파울이야. 1분 28초 남았어. 이제는 24초를 다 활용하면서 넓혀가지고 쓰라고. 무슨 말인지 알지?
Now the Korean fans have to like what they're seeing so far from their team. (39-34), and New Zealand wanting to finish strong here at the end of the opening half. Illy with a little runner, comes right out of the timeout. Again, when you see that as a coach, you're like, okay, these guys have been listening. But Illy is just doesn't force things really, does he? But if you give it to him, he'll take it. So he's 2 of 3 from the floor. Backs up Abercrombie, and you know what? Saw the mismatch size-wise and took advantage Great move by O. Now Shea Illy bumped by O. Illy again. And almost turned it over. Good D from Korea. Webster over to Illy. Shot clock down to 2. And he drew a foul from O right at the end of the shot clock. And New Zealand kind of bailed out by that call. And Jai Hur, look at the Korean bench. They thought they had played good defense. Shea Illy was so disappointed to injure his finger in the semifinal. He cut the webbing. In fact, it wasn't the finger, it was the webbing on his hand. And needed stitches and had to miss really the majority of the semifinal against Australia and then the third place game against Korea. And New Zealand almost got the offensive rebound off that Illy miss. So Illy trying to make the difference here today, but right now it's Korea by 4. And they'll try to hold it about a 3-second differential in the game clock and the shot clock. Hill has the ball knocked away. New Zealand have a little bit of time, and they get it up, and that's going to be just what the doctor ordered from their standpoint. A fast break, and that is the final score here at the end of the first half. So 20 more exciting minutes to come. We couldn't have asked for a better start to the FIBA Basketball World Cup qualifiers. Korea lead at 41-39 over New Zealand. So you can see Korea with those 5 3-pointers, 3 of 5 from New Zealand. And rebounding 8 apiece, 7 offensive boards for Korea. And turnovers, New Zealand have 7. And it was a little bit of sloppy play late at the end of the first quarter and the beginning of the second quarter, which kind of led to some problems for Korea. Problems for New Zealand and some opportunities for Korea. But look, this is my house. Well, in fact, this is New Zealand's house. And the fans that have come out in force tonight, as we know that they are going to be doing all over the world because of the passion for international basketball and for the national teams. They have come out in force, and they've been treated to an interesting first half. They need to get a little bit louder, I think, here for this New Zealand team to come back. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back for the start of the second half. 41-39, Korea on top of New Zealand here in the TSB Stadium in Wellington, New Zealand. And Paul Henare all decked out tonight, looking like he's taking that business-like approach to this game, as well he should, because I tell you what, the folks on the other side of the court, they mean business. And if New Zealand or New Zealand's fans didn't know beforehand, this Korea team is good. And they probably did anyway, because Korea beat New Zealand twice at the FIBA Asia Cup this summer in Beirut. And New Zealand bringing back a lot of the veterans for this game. And it's great to see Pledger back in the game, back in the team, rather, for New Zealand. He missed so much time over the years with the back problems, but he is one of those linchpins, really, that over the years, when you think about New Zealand for the past decade, really, I mean, he comes to mind. So Jai Her has to like the start of his team. Is Jai Her thinking maybe we should be further ahead right now? And Paul Henare is like, you know what? We really didn't play that well at all in the first half, yet we're only down by 2. So he has to be encouraged. And wouldn't you have liked to have been a fly on the wall at halftime for the team talks for both of these teams? So as we get closer to the start of the second half, we'll just go quickly over some of the first half numbers. New Zealand shooting 48.15% inside the arc, 60%. They're 3 of 5 from deep. Korea, meanwhile, shooting 43.48% inside the arc, and they're 45.45% from deep. They've hit a couple more threes.
Straight into the four-man turn to play. All right, if it's 4 down and 5, you see that denial, flash straight into that area there. All right, and then
New Zealand getting 7 fast break points, including a couple from Ty Webster right at the end of the first half. And interestingly, New Zealand 18 points in the paint, just 8 for Korea.
Stay locked in and make sure we rebound.
And crucially for New Zealand and Korea, the bench, when you think about the number of points coming from the bench from Korea, and that man right there, he started so well, Jeon. They've got 24 of their 41 points coming off the bench, whereas New Zealand have 14. And Jeon was really the key for Korea in that turnaround, turning that deficit into a lead. He's got 13 points. He's hit 3 of his 4 attempts from long range. So second half action underway here. Korea starting with possession, and they might get a good look inside, and they do. So New Zealand give away an easy one. I mean, that's about as easy as it comes. And great job by Jai Her getting his guys coming out strong from the locker room. And down low, the miss from Vakona, who hasn't really gotten anything going tonight. Now Lee over to O. Kim Jong-yu has it, number 15, and Choi has it starting in the second half. Choi, number 2. Oh, what a pass from Choi to Kim Jong-yu. And right out of the gates, Korea getting layups. And folks, the Koreans have a reputation, richly deserved, for being able to hit the jump shots. But you know what? They're thinking right now, we can get some easy ones. And what a pass from Choi. I mean, you're talking about a guy that's as big as he is and looking very competent passing the ball. Here is Corey Webster, and Korea will not want to be giving away second and third chances to New Zealand, or they're going to get punished like that. Lee into the paint. Back outside to Choi. Another bounce pass from him. Oh, this time not able to collect it. It goes out of bounds. And he reacts and says, that's our ball. Well, that time, again, almost a good opportunity. Jai Hur's right there. It did look to me like he kind of fumbled it. Here he is. Look, he touches it there. Now, that ball. Oh, yeah, you can see. You can see why. I think maybe they missed one there. Tough call against Korea, but those things will even out over the course of the game. Willie Webster picking up his dribble, gives it over to Abercrombie. Shea Illy now to a wide open Webster for three. And now Korea battling each other. Lee and O. The ball goes out of bounds. Webster inbounds it to Abercrombie, and his pass to Vacona almost goes out of bounds. And New Zealand have turned it over again. I think a double dribble. No, it was a 3-second violation on Vacona. Here's Choi. Good hands from Shea Illy, but he saves it in bounds into the hands of Choi. So no joy for the Tall Blacks, but joy for Choi and Korea. Good hands again from Vacona. Twice New Zealand get hands on the passes of Korea and being very disruptive, but not able to get the ball. Here he is again. Look at this. Oh, a little bit of a spike there over to Choi. Now the quick inbounds, and the inability to get the ball after knocking it away hurts as Gian comes out and throws in another three. Boy, 4 of 5 from deep from him. And off the front of the rim was Abercrombie. Boy, that was a momentum-changing sequence there by Korea. Now the pass inside again, and another chance as well. He will go to the line for the three-point play. Oh, and Korea looking confident. They've got the wind in their sails. And again, punishing New Zealand, the double team. And Choi is just such a great passer, isn't he? He can see over the defense with that size. And unfortunately for New Zealand, they don't give away any more points, but right now it's the biggest lead of the game for this Korea, for either team. 8 points. Shea Illy, bounce pass, and Vacona doesn't, it was laid on a platter for him. He just fumbled it away. Having a tough game tonight, Mika Vacona offensively. And Choi left wide open. Vacona with the board. Abercrombie floats in, and he will earn a trip to the free throw line. For the move from Shea Illy, the previous trip down the floor, Vacona comes out, and Pledger comes back in. Just beautiful bounce pass to Vacona, and it was like either he wasn't expecting the pass or just simply didn't catch it. He comes into the game, 33, another of those great jump shooters for Korea. We've yet to see Jordan Natai and Smith Milner as well. Chloe Smith Milner. They're in the New Zealand team. They played at the Asia Cup. Currently sitting on the bench. And the free throw is good from Abercrombie. Now, will this Korea team be able to step on the accelerator and open up an even bigger lead, or will New Zealand come back? got more than four. Gian falls down, looking like he's trying to get a foul, and now I think he's been called for simulation, trying to get the referee to make the call on the missed three. So that is, you know what? I mean, the referee, if he's simulation, if that's simulation, if he's faking just to get the foul call, it's a great call from the ref. New Zealand don't take advantage. So New Zealand finding it a real struggle right now against Korea, as we anticipated. We thought it would be a very tight game. Illy for three. And the rebound for Abercrombie. He puts up a three. Good! Thomas Abercrombie left wide open. And New Zealand warned, don't interfere with the ball when it comes through the hoop or you're going to get a technical foul. Lee brings it up the floor. Hands it off to Gian. Bounce pass back to Lee, and lefty hits it. And that gives me a chance as he hits another three. I want to tell you his numbers. He was 21 of 42 from three-point range at the Asia Cup. I mean, he was scintillating. Can't leave a man like that open. Abercrombie. And again, another opportunity for New Zealand. Pledger looking like he thought Abercrombie was going to go up for it. Abercrombie made the pass to Pledger, and Pledger just wasn't able to catch it. So New Zealand making some good plays, moves, and decisions offensively, but just not quite clicking at this stage. Choi puts the ball on the deck, goes to the basket, and draws the foul from Abercrombie. Man, he is a player, Choi. Look at this again. And Choi did a great job as well of initiating the contact here to get the foul called on Abercrombie. And just when it seemed, again, we've seen it a couple of times, New Zealand, as they get close and start to get a little bit of momentum, Korea going a little run. And now it's 56-47. So adversity here for the Tall Blacks. Midway through the third quarter, they're facing their biggest deficit of the game, 9 points. Fotu, and he misses. They had the shot they wanted. Now Lee, got to get a hand in the faces. Pledger did a good job of coming out on him. Hands it off to Choi. Choi at the line. And offensive foul called on Choi, and this time his willingness or desire to get the contact works against him. Look at this. Great defense from Abercrombie. I mean, it's a little iffy, but certainly I think the referee's got it right. Entry pass to Fotu, and again misses another one. And Korea respond, and New Zealand are just leaving a lot of layups out there. And now New Zealand got to watch their ball and their man, and some of the guys weren't watching the ball, and they finally end up coming with the ball. Great defense. And again, another layup miss, and then coming from behind, the foul on Fotu, and Kenny exploded to the basket, tried to get the layup. Look at this. The scramble for the ball, somebody pick it up. It's like a greased pig, and they finally get it. And how many opportunities are New Zealand going to miss right at the rim? So Vicona comes back in. It's simply been a case of New Zealand really just working, getting good shots, and not finishing. And the drive, good hands again, but the ball goes to O. And Vacona goes up for the rebounds. Got to watch the elbows, though. Now quickly to Ty Webster. And he is able to get rid of the ball before he turns it over. Now he gets inside, puts up a short jumper. Good! John has to be careful. He's already had a technical foul called on him. And the Tall Blacks upping the physicality just a little bit here against Korea. So Korea called timeout. So the Korea were arguing that Vacona stepped in there too late on the pick. But look at that, 5 of 11 for New Zealand from deep, 7 of 15 for Korea. New Zealand 14 of 32, 44%. I mean, really, they should be at 50%. They're just not finishing. New Zealand edging the rebounds.
You immediately go find the inbounder and deny it. All right, Ruben, you're finding the next available guy. All right, good. We fall back into 5. We don't get a steal. We're good. We get a steal in the score. Stay in it. Okay, there we go. Hey, keep grinding away with our defense, boys. Rebound.
Well, folks, it's all about hashtag This Is My House. If you want to go on Twitter and check it out. See a lot of activity with This Is My House, the new competition system, all about bringing international basketball, the national teams, to the fans, giving them a chance to see their favorite team, and as evidenced by this crowd of more than 5,000 tonight here in Wellington. It was a great decision by FIBA to move the international windows, or to bring in the international windows, to bring them back. At least they used to be in Europe up to 2003. And now all around the world, fans can watch their national teams in these windows. Oh, puts up the jump shot and crashing the boards. And I think the foul's on Heo. Ruben Tarangi. You can see the sense of urgency seems to be there now for New Zealand. It was perhaps a little bit missing. But Korea making a substitution here. So Lee comes back into the game. So already New Zealand shooting free throws. Korea over the limit in this third quarter. So sometimes when you're struggling, if you can get to the free throw line, it's a good way to cure your ills, your shooting ills. Here again, and look at the fight down low between Ty Webster and Choi for position. And again, watch as they battle for the rebound, and Choi well, they're looking, I think, to see who's shooting free throws. So it should be Tarangi, not Webster. So indeed, that's what the delay was, making sure they had the right guy at the line, and old sneaky Ty Webster was up there trying to take those free throws. But instead, it's Ruben Tarangi. And this is the kind of night that it's been for New Zealand. You get some opportunities to try to get a little bit of momentum. You got to take advantage, and the first free throw is missed by Tarangi. He takes his time, makes the second. And a foul called to reach on Webster for Vacona. So any more fouls on New Zealand, and Korea will be shooting free throws. So Vacona picks up the foul. Oh, good hands from Ty Webster, almost getting the steal. Oh, almost took steps there. You heard the crowd. Lee gets it back to Kim Jong-yu, who's just come back into the game. And Pledger with the rebound. Jared Kenny over to Tarangi, and he is fouled, so that's more free throws. So the foul on Gion, and this is the, well, it should be, excuse me, it's not on Gion, it's on Kim, who's committed the foul. On number 5. So New Zealand 7-11 at the free throw line. Korea 7 of 10. And Tarangi makes the first of 2. So he's now 2 of 3 at the line tonight. And makes the second as well. And that gets it back to 4. And we're kind of in that time of the game where New Zealand have gotten closer. They've gotten closer. And Korea seemed to have been able to make a play or two to recapture the momentum. Now the quick pass. Oh, they've left open Lee again. He simply cannot be left open. He doesn't miss, folks. What a player. Oh, telegraph pass right into the hands of Lee, and New Zealand got away with one there. Boy, that was a sloppy play. And a couple of mental mistakes here by New Zealand. And the pass to Fotu. And good job from Ty Webster. And Fotu has got to put that one away, and he does. So a little bit more pressure here that this Korea team is facing. And Ty Webster certainly brings the D. Here he is on Kim, who goes past him. Now makes the pass out on the perimeter. Now inside to Kim Jong-yu. Lee puts up a 3. He tries to get the foul called as well. Better be careful doing that. Here's Fotu. And Kenny for 3. And boy, that was a wide open look. I guess you have to say you got to take that shot, but New Zealand doing such a good job of getting the ball down low. And here's Kim Jong-yu, takes the bounce pass. And that is huge. New Zealand missed the open jumper, and Korea respond with a great, great look. Basic basketball bounce pass, cutting to the basket. Ty Webster puts up a jumper, and Pledger with the offensive rebound off his own miss and the putback. But New Zealand can't trade baskets. They've got to get some stops at the other end. Kim at the line, tries to get to the line, he misses. Now Ty Webster again, and he is fouled by Kim Jong-yu. Are they going to count it? And Kim, you don't want to protest it too much. And are they counting it? That's the question. I think they are. So they do indeed count. Great play, Ty Webster. And really, if you're going to prevent him from making that shot, you got to foul him. I mean, you got to make sure he doesn't release it. Great play by Ty Webster. And you see Henare getting the low 5 from Pledger after the offensive rebound and putback. And all of a sudden, Korea leading by just 2 with New Zealand's Ty Webster at the free throw line. Ty Webster now with 11 points. 3 of 4 at the line tonight. 21.2 seconds remaining in the third quarter. And Webster gets it back to a 1-point game. So some shifty moves here. Korea trying to get another basket, and certainly at least want to finish with the lead. But Ty Webster on the ball. Alley-oop pass, what a play. They don't get it. And Webster doesn't even attempt the shot. And really New Zealand showing some great fight there at the end of the third quarter to get back into the game. They trail by 1 point now with 10 minutes remaining.
Big thanks to our sponsors. Security placements, FIBA, NP. But let's hear it for the Hutt Valley High School cheerleaders once more.
Shooting numbers, both teams heating up a little bit from deep. Free throw shooting similar, and inside the arc as well. Well, what a great game. We've talked about the World Cup qualifiers for so long, whether it's been the Americas, whether it's been Asia, whether it's been Africa, Europe, and here they are, and you're getting a great look at what this is all about. These teams going out for the victory. Every game is priceless. They're trying to be among the 32 teams that play at the FIBA Basketball World Cup in 2019 in China. And Korea have just been absolutely terrific for most of this game. But we're seeing that real grit, that fight from the Tall Blacks that they're known for to get themselves back into it, and trailing by just 1 point at the end of the third quarter. And Ty Webster really sparked them, including this play, the drive, the foul. He's got 12 points. It's his brother Corey who leads all scoring for New Zealand with 16 points. 16 points for Jeon from Korea, 10 for Lee Sung-hyung. And it's game on, folks. So fourth quarter underway here in Wellington, New Zealand. Great country, great basketball. We're watching it. Hashtag, this is my house. Inside to Ruben Tarangi. Over to Kenny, open again. This time he hits it. And the Tall Blacks have gone back in front with the go-ahead three. Watch Choi. He picks up his dribble. Hands it off to Lee. Fotu on him. He knows he's a shooter. And a reach, and I believe a foul has been called on Kenny. So the veteran Kenny now getting the swing of things on both ends of the floor. Choi inside now. Jeon for three. Good. He does it again. Korea back in front as Jeon hits his fifth three-pointer, but Fotu responds and puts the Tall Blacks back in front. Boy, Asian basketball, when you talk about the shooting, you got to go to Korea. Boy, those guys know how to put the ball in the hoop from deep, and this man especially. This time he takes it inside, back out to Lee, another of those sharpshooters. Now Choi, shot clock down to one. Choi puts up a three. Not a great possession that time by Korea. Good D from New Zealand. Webster pulls up on the break, and it rattles out front back of the rim. Korea with the board. Lee. Yang, the captain, has it. Wearing the face mask. The masked man inside. Beautiful play. The reverse layup by Choi. Kenny dribbles, to Fotu. Doesn't want to force it. He may have forced it, and I think he did actually. Choi with the rebound over to Gian. Now Korea over to Lee, open, good! I don't know how many times you have to say it, folks. If he has any daylight whatsoever, Lee is going to put the ball in the basket. And now Korea with Yang trying to create a little bit of offense from their defense, reach in and commit the foul out on the perimeter. And Korea just showing how tough they are mentally, with New Zealand charging back to take the lead. But Korea have gone down and hit a couple of big shots. Hit 3 big shots, in fact. Choi with the reverse layup. Gian hitting his 5th three-pointer, and also Lee with the long jumper as well. Shea Illy back in the game, inbounds it to Ty Webster. Ty puts it on the deck from the baseline, misses everything, and then the fight for the rebound, and Lee does a great job. Vakona not able to corral it, and Korea have possession again, up 3. What a way to start to open up the World Cup qualifying campaign. The first World Cup qualifier is proving to be an electric one. Here we go, bounce pass. Choi has the shot blocked by Abercrombie. Choi looked like maybe he didn't know what he was going to do there, and then decided to shoot it right at the last second. Webster over to Abercrombie. Lee guarding him. Shea Illy over to Webster. Good patience. Illy into the lane, hands it off. Pledger for the dunk. And that was the shot they had in the third quarter, like 3 times. And the Bigs simply weren't ready, but that time Pledger was ready for the pass from Illy. Gian. Lee over to O. Good. The big fella. Oh, say Kuen. Well, he made the All-Star 5 at the Asia Cup, and there he's showing you that soft touch. And Vakona fakes the handoff, fouled by O. Corey Webster back in, brings keeps some the energy levels up so New Zealand can keep playing the D. And Vakona makes the first one to get that deficit back to 2 points. Well, Vakona is one of the veterans. He's the captain. Been with his team more than a decade. And misses the second. So New Zealand precious free throws not converted, below 70% now, 68.75%. You really want to be at least at 70%. Choi, again, I think it's going to be an offensive foul, and great call out on the perimeter. Choi's a great player, but I think he's got to learn not to lower that shoulder sometimes. Good job, Abercrombie. That's a tough assignment for Abercrombie. And now the pass into Vakona. And he makes the pass to Pledger. Great find from Vakona. Now Vakona starting to bring his A game. And that'll come as a relief to both him and his teammates and the fans. Gian drives in, gets rejected. What a play by Abercrombie. That triggers the break. Webster. And Illy goes up, fumbles the ball away, just lost it as he went up. Now Gian, how big will that miss be? Lee, and alertly Abercrombie got out on the shooter. Now Lee is going to try to post up Abercrombie. And Abercrombie commits the foul. Didn't see what else he could have done there, Abercrombie, but oh boy, what happened to Illy? He caught the pass, and then as he went up, the ball just kind of slipped out of his hands. And here's Dion putting the pressure on the D with Abercrombie saying, "This is my house and not in my house." Oh, on the baseline. Oh, what just quality. I mean, he's great, folks. Just so impressed by Korea. The more you watch them, they just refuse to give in, don't they? Webster for three. Front and back of the rim. Another big rebound by Pledger. Illy for three. That's going to be off the rim, front of the rim. And now the foul called on O. And the scrap for the rebound. Fotu checks back in. 4 fouls on O, so that is a huge sequence. Kim Jong-kyu back into the game. I mean, you know, they've got some bigs. Haven't seen that much from Lee, their star from the 2014 FIBA Basketball World Cup. Vukona turns, back outside, wide open Webster. And now Webster can't get it to go. And Korea with the 2-point lead and 4 minutes remaining. Oh, Kim was left open. And now Lee puts up a three, follows up his missed shot, and he earns the trip to the line. So nobody rebounded the miss from New Zealand alertly. Lee follows up his shot, and now you can expect the window to come into play because remember, he likes to bank them in. 3:56 remaining. Isaac Fotu. Where's number 42? Because it sounds like Fotu. Apparently, there he is. Banks it in. We're back to a 3-point lead for Korea. Well, these teams played a couple of really close games at the Asia Cup. And here they are again in another thriller. And once again, Korea leading the contest. Fotu posting up down low. Doesn't want to get the 3-second violation. Vukona spins, goes up and well short with his move. I don't know if he was looking to pass first when he went up. But you can't leave your feet without having somebody to pass to unless you know they're definitely going to be cutting. Now Lee again goes up against Webster. Basket here for Korea would be monumental for their chances. Oh, good read from Illy. Takes it away. He's off to the races. And he lays it up and in. Boy, that is massive, folks. Every sequence big. Korea with that opportunity to stretch the lead, but instead, Shea Illy makes a big play on defense. And I really like the job that Jai Her does. He really does use his timeouts well. He calls the timeout to refocus. Perhaps give some of his guys a breather as well. Here's Lee. Just an excellent read from Shea Illy. Anticipation, takes it away, and then goes up for an almost dunk. Boy, what a fantastic player to watch, Shea Illy. Points for Jian, 10 rebounds for O. For New Zealand, 16 for Corey Webster, and 8 rebounds for Pledger. Ty Webster has the 4 assists. So remember, O has the 4 fouls. He can come back in, obviously, but coach has to choose the right moment. Coach Jai Her. Now Lee gets some pressure, and then they trap Gian, but a little bit too much. Oh, and Gian just kind of threw his elbow, a forearm, to get Corey Webster away from him. And he has gotten perhaps very fortunate there not to get another technical. Number 17, referee showing good restraint. He's a little feisty at times. And now another foul, and that is a big one because Vukona trying to come up with the steal or trying to knock it away has put Korea on the free throw line. And this is not a man that you want to put on the free throw line. So, you know, this is the type of play if you're Vukona. You have to wonder, you need to be careful you don't pick up the foul. So Lee will go to the free throw line, and Hanare is called timeout. Lee has yet to attempt a free throw tonight.
Pretty sure it's going to be a 3-2 again with number 2 on the floor. Shay, I want you to bring the ball up here. Ty, you stay here. Ike, Mika.
See the turnovers, 11 and 10.
Sorry, no. Corey, Shay. Yeah.
And points off turnovers, New Zealand 11, Korea 9.
Get the ball back here. Mika, screen the outside of the zone here.
And field goal shooting percentages. Well, I'll tell you what, look at the score where it is now, and just every single possession matters. Every basket matters. And Korea, after trailing by 4 points early, came back to take the lead. They went up by as many as 10. New Zealand came back, went in front. Excuse me, Korea led by as many as 9. But now it's Korea with the lead, and Lee, who was 5 of 6 at the free throw line. He's at the free throw line at the Asia Cup. He is now at the charity stripe. And what's also difficult about this foul for Vukona, and I'm sure he's kicking himself, is why do you want to foul a guy that far away from the basket? So Lee is at the stripe, and if he makes this one, he makes New Zealand pay for that mistake. And sure enough, he drills both of them. And the Korea fans, are they going to be celebrating after this? We're on the North Island of New Zealand. Oh, what a move. And Ty Webster is going to the free throw line. So Kim picks up his 3rd foul. Webster makes the 1st. Tell you what, he's getting pretty close to his brother now, to leading New Zealand in scoring. And the 2 free throws push his total now up to 14 points. So his brother Corey has 16. Sheili has 10. Isaac Fotu 8. They're all in the game. Now O Sekuun back in the game with the 4 fouls, 2:40 remaining. I know the people back in Seoul are watching this and getting excited as well. Their team on the cusp of a huge win to start off the World Cup qualifiers. Vukona gets up and Lee hits the 3. How big was that? Well, that was a tough shot. And he is a real battler, Lee. Webster goes to his left. Shea Illy has it, and his pass right at the feet of Vukona, and New Zealand don't even get off a decent shot. Boy, what a horrendous possession that time for New Zealand. And the pressure now really starting to build on the Tall Blacks. And Ty Webster knows he can't leave this man open. Gian, he can hit it from anywhere. They just hit one big three with Lee. Hands it off. Lee takes another three, and this time Vukona gets the rebound. Lee was bearing down on him. Thought he might get the foul called. Now Webster drives in, and the follow from Fotu. And that gets it back to a two-point game. Goodness me, what a start to the World Cup qualifiers. This is my house. Start tweeting away, folks. If you haven't already, this is what it is. This is what it's all about. Oh, what a move from O. And then has the ball knocked out of his hands at the last second by Shea Illy. O complaining he was hit on the wrist. 6 seconds remain on the shot clock. Both teams in the bonus. Choi is going to inbound it. Will Korea look to get something going to the basket here? They're going to look and see how much time is on the shot clock, I think. And, well, Illy got a lot of ball, but he might have also grazed O's left hand. Don't they say hand's part of the ball, though? Maybe he got him on the wrist as well. Here's another look at it. And I think the timekeeper has it right. I think there's going to be 6 seconds on, they might say 7. No, I think there's 6. Well, I don't know about you folks, but it has been worth the price of admission, worth the price of viewing, worth spending your evening with us or your afternoon or your morning. This is the FIBA Basketball World Cup 2019 Asian Qualifiers tipping off in grand style in New Zealand. 2-point lead for Korea. Remember, they beat them twice. Did Korea beat New Zealand twice at the Asia Cup. And now they're going for a hat trick this year. Quick pass, Gian for 3. Oh, what a play! Was it a 3 or a 2? Yes, it was a 3. What a dagger! This is a Korea team not to be messed with, folks. You better be supremely focused and concentrated and determined from the off, or they're going to come out and hurt you. And perhaps New Zealand, the execution wasn't quite there early, and they've been playing catch-up, and they've had to survive against a very good shooting Korea team, which is now 10 of 21 from three-point range. And Gian, the player of the game without question, 6 of 8 from three-point range, and he has a game-high 22 points. That was a shot heard around the world, folks. Gian certainly in Seoul. They're slapping high fives right now with 1:01 remaining. Their team so close to getting a precious road victory in the World Cup qualifiers. So yeah, he was behind the line and got it off in plenty of time. And just as they draw it up,
4 seconds will be in. 1 minute 5 seconds remain.
also I think they're adding a little bit of time. 1:05 they said, so they let a little bit too much time click off the clock. Well, a lot can happen in the last 1 minute and 1 second of a basketball game, or 1 minute and 5 seconds. So you don't want to go anywhere. I know there are a lot of people probably waking up to this game in Europe or getting into their offices and checking out, tuning in, whether online or watching on TV, and they must be thinking to themselves, weren't New Zealand supposed to win this game? But this Korea team is tough, and they have proved how tough they are by coming on the road. And these two teams will be playing again shortly as well. The next game will be on Sunday for New Zealand at Hong Kong. And Korea will be at home to China. I mean, this just a win here for Korea just sets them up nicely, not only for progression to the next round, but obviously carrying points into that next round. Every win you carry points over. So this is a huge result if it stands up. But again, a lot can happen in the final minute of a game. You know, New Zealand are going to look back. A lot of turnovers or misses when they had some easy looks. And you got to take advantage of all those opportunities when you get them. Ty Webster, crossover, drives in, over to Abercrombie for three. Good! Well, I'll tell you what, when you pass up a layup like that for Abercrombie, Abercrombie knows he has to make the three. That gets it back to a 2-point game. Man, that was clutch. Abercrombie, he's played well on both ends of the floor today. Now Lee, guarded by Vukona, and you don't want to foul if you're Webster. Shot clock down to 10. Lee has it. Remember, he just hit a big three. He drives. He looks for the dump. He gets the dump and the basket from O. So back to a 4-point lead. That is a well-coached team right there. They got the dribble penetration, and as the defense came to him, he found the open man. But what a great play this was as well. And I guess probably Webster's layup, had he attempted it, wouldn't have been quite so straightforward. But nevertheless, look at this. Lee drives in, and Corey Webster was perhaps a little too late trying to step in front of the Korea big man.
그래서 앞에 있는 사람이 자기 벤치야.
22 points for Gian, 14 for Lee. We got a lot of Lees, a lot of Gions. But you've got also O, who has the 10 rebounds to go with his 14 points. So living up to his credentials today. He's going to walk away with a double-double. Remember, 80 games over 5 days. The FIBA Basketball World Cup qualifiers in this first window. And every national team player everywhere either wants to be with their national team or they're cheering hard for their national team as well. And right now, if you're in Korea, you have to be oh so proud of these Koreans. They have really come out today and done what they've had to do, but they've still got some work to do. What a play from El Capitan, Mika Vukona. And now can the New Zealand D come up with some pressure that forces a turnover. Choi holds it up, and they're going to take it down perhaps as far as they can. 7 seconds differential in the game clock and the shot clock. This is a must stop for New Zealand. Lee dribbles in, bounce pass again. Choi lays it up with 11 seconds to go. Time and time again today, we have seen the execution on offense and the bounce pass that leads to the layup, often the reverse layup for Korea. Again, look at this.
Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the game,
And Choi trying to get
Corey, man on zone.
a three-point play, but the referee's not going to hear it. So here we go.
Quick out.
11 seconds to go. New Zealand down 4. What do you do? Well, we can see.
Quickly, you're over the top. Screening. Zone, screening outside of the zone. Corey, the play we ran the other day in practice. Right here, Corey. I need you to engage this defender right here.
나오면 다 할 수 있죠. 네. 그거 못 잡으면 쳐내라고. 선수가 이제 한개 프레스 이렇게. 아니 내가 타임을 불러가라. 맨 들어가면 내가 타임을 불러가라.
Otherwise, you can. Straight away.
Well, we were able to listen in to the coaches, and it's been a tight game. I think Korea have done what they've needed to do so far. And I wonder if you might see a 4-point play here. Well, Abercrombie quickly puts up a 3. And Korea rebound the miss. And Korea up to Lee. Korea are going to start things off with a victory in New Zealand. What a result. For one of the traditional powers of Asian basketball, they have hit the road. They have come all the way to Wellington, and they have beaten New Zealand for the 3rd time in a row this year. And Gian there, and you know what? You have to salute him for playing so well, but it wouldn't be fair just to say it's all down to him. Such a team effort. 86-80, Korea win it. Well, the good news for Korea, they've opened with a win in the FIBA Basketball World Cup qualifiers at New Zealand. The good news for New Zealand is it was just the first game, and plenty of drama ahead certainly now in their campaign as they look to rebound, and they facing a must-win in Hong Kong on Sunday. But even more so, they will now be thinking that they're going to have to get a win to get some valuable points when they go to Korea next time. And Korea just seemed to be moving from strength to strength in international basketball. What a performance. You know, Jai Her, the coach, and the three-point shooting, 10 of 21 from deep, 23 of 46 inside the arc. You're not going to lose games when you shoot that well. So New Zealand ended up out-rebounding them 40-34. But the assist, 27-14 for Korea. You know, so it's no wonder when you see so many bounce passes leading to those layups at the end. And really, this is a New Zealand team that they're going to have to forget this quickly and get ready to play the next time out. Gian with the 22 points, O with the 10 rebounds. Choi had the 7 assists. Now, where did it go wrong for New Zealand? Well, we could talk about that in a second as we look at the rest of these stats. Lee and O each finishing with 14 points. Corey Webster 16, Ty Webster 14, 10 for Fotu. Boy, huge crowd, tough one for New Zealand to take tonight. Those are the standings in Group A. 1-0 for Korea, 0-1 for New Zealand. China and Hong Kong will be playing their games shortly. Well, as we look at some of these highlights, and that was a persistent issue for New Zealand, not able to stop the interior passing, including the bounce passes that were leading to the layups for Korea. And, you know, perhaps more importantly, you know, we saw the Koreans get some open looks that they can't be allowed to get, but I don't know. I just felt like more importantly than anything else, New Zealand, I'm not sure from a focus standpoint, mentally or energy-wise, it just wasn't all quite there at the beginning. They took the lead, and it was really only, I feel like in the second half that they kind of, like midway through the third quarter, they finally decided it was time to really get after Korea. And by that time, you were just in a really hard game. And Korea proved they could hit their jump shots, they could get their offensive execution. And what's also impressive about Korea is that New Zealand did come all the way back and take the lead, but Korea just never buckled. They just continued to make plays themselves. So they have come out with just a huge, huge result on the opening day of the FIBA Basketball World Cup 2019 Asian Qualifiers, winning it at New Zealand 86-80. Well, we have to think Gion was the player of the game, had that efficiency rating of plus 23. He was 6 of 8 from three-point range, 8 of 11 inside the arc. He also had 3 assists. And New Zealand also had a lot of trouble with Oh Sekuun, who had the double-double, 14 points, 10 rebounds. And Choi, again, we highlighted him at the start of the telecast, broadcast. An all-round player, an all-round talent, 9.7 rebounds, 9.7 assists, 5 rebounds. He did turn it over 3 times, but he also had a steal. He was at plus 19. He made plays. And also, what a huge shot from Lee, who finished with 12 points. Remember, he had that big three-pointer late. So that is the final score, folks. Thanks for watching. 86-80, Korea win it.